was also the beginning of the Mark Twain Zephyr from St. Louis to Burlington.
Ralph Budd and my grandfather was interested in stainless steel.
I don't know how he got in contact, but now enter part 2 of the story, the Mark Twain Zephyr.
I really hope that my first train ride is on the Zephyr.
Thanks so much for joining us on MarkTwainZephyr.com, also our Facebook and our Twitter pages on Mark Twain Zephyr. I'm Robert Tabern, Director of Passenger Development for the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad, and it is Sunday, December the 19th, 2021. And yes, as our crews enjoy some time with their families over the next couple weeks, our Sunday updates will focus on introducing you to some of the players whose family members were integral in building and designing the Mark Twain Zephyr. Up this week, we sit down with Charlotte Dean Mitchell in her home near Las Vegas, Nevada. Her father, Albert Dean, was one of the primary Zephyr designers who worked for the Budd Company.
And we have a very, very special guest this afternoon for you, Charlotte Dean Mitchell.
Thank you for saying special.
Very special because you're multiple connections to the Mark Twain Zephyr, but first, your mom is Effie Dean, who our Tavern Lounge car is named after, and then your dad, of course, is Albert Dean, who basically designed the whole entire train.
Yes.
So I have a couple questions for you.
Yes.
You're the daughter of the famous Albert Dean and Effie Dean.
Yes.
So tell us about each one. Professionally, I guess more, but personally too, if you want. And
You mean my mom and dad?
yeah.
Okay, Dad graduated as top metallurgist in the country, and he was the top, and so he went in to work for the stainless steel building and designing the trains, the stainless steel trains.
What interested him about the stainless steel?
Because he was into metallurgy from MIT, and he knew all about the metal.
So it wasn't necessarily the trains, it was more the metal.
Yes, I guess so.
Okay.
And then he helped design the first stainless steel airplane. But as it was testing in his flights, they came out with a lighter weight plane, so it never got off the ground as commercial at all.
Okay.
And then he went into that. He didn't have to go into war because he was designing these trains for the country, I guess.
Oh, okay. So obviously your dad worked for Budd?
Bud Company, I remember the Red Lion plant, and I forget the name of the other plant, but there were two plants.
And then your uncle?
Uncle Walter.
Uncle Walter.
His older brother.
Tell us as much as you can remember about them at Budd, their stories that you might remember.
Well, they lived, Uncle Walter Clark Dean, did something with trucks, with the corrugated trucks. I remember them talking about that, but I wasn't too much aware of him.
So Walter would do the trucks, and what all did your dad do? Did he design the whole train?
He designed the whole train. Anytime, especially if there was an accident anywhere in the United States, he would go to that accident and take pictures and then come back and make reinforcements so that the place that buckled, he would strengthen that area. And then my dad traveled all over the world. I know Japan and Africa and South America and Europe, going over the trains, and I don't know whether he was trying to sell them or show them how good they were for their countries, but he did an awful lot of traveling on, making people aware of the trains.
Tell us more about your mom, Effie. She has a car. Her car is at Wisconsin Great Northern. So who is
Mom
the
is
mysterious Effie Dean? We get to ask that. Okay, we know who Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn.
Yes.
Was Effie Dean a character in the Twain novels?
Dad graduated and married my mom. She was his high school sweetheart. But they didn't get married for a while. And then they got married and lived moved to Narberth, Pennsylvania, and then they lived in the outskirts, half a mile from where our house is. But they lived at 219 North Windward Avenue, Narberth, Pennsylvania, for 58 years. And then when Dad developed his Parkinson's and his Alzheimer's, and Mom had 2 strokes, they couldn't take care of each other, so they moved up to Connecticut with us. And my mom was graduated from Cornell as a dietitian. And she was a dietitian for a while, and then I guess she had us, the 4 kids. And then after my sister graduated, she was the youngest, she went back into working for the state hospital as a dietitian. She was a very well-known person in the Girl Scouts.
Really?
Her first Girl Scout meeting was at the White House with Hoover. President Hoover's wife was a Girl Scout leader, and she would have her Girl Scout meetings in there. Wow. And she was devoted to Girl Scouting as well as being a dietitian. And she won her 75 years pin in Scouting. 75 years in pin. 75 years.
So she was 90 plus, or close to 90.
She died when she was 89, so I think she got her pin when she was like 88.
Wow.
So she took all the Girl Scouts on camping trips to the Scouting. They have large camping areas. Well, one we went to was outside of Philadelphia called Indian Run, and I went to Indian Run too when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, but then she was just always into helping people and doing good things for everybody. And she was always a wonderful mom. Now, I don't remember ever hearing a swear word in our family, ever. And I grew up in that house.
Yeah.
So it was just a very close-knit family. And my mom had her sister come to live with us, and my dad had his mother come to live with us.
Oh boy.
So I never learned to cook very well because they were all cooking, and so they prepared. I helped wash the dishes and set the table, and serve.
So what was the story behind? Because I know it wasn't. It was way after. It was when the most recent owners bought the train that they named it Effie Dean. So why did they name it Effie Dean? Was she into trains, or what's the story?
Oh, she did everything with my dad.
Oh.
They were very, very close the whole time that I can remember.
Oh, okay.
And the person who had it kind of adopted Mom and Dad as his grandparents.
And that's Dan Krebsky.
Dan Krebsky and John Lowe.
Yeah.
And they worked a long time on trying to preserve that train.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for your interview and all that amazing information about your dad, Albert, and Mom, Effie. I have one last question for you. You've learned that the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad is in the process of renovating your dad's train, the Mark Twain Zephyr, finished up in October of 1935. Let me get your thoughts and feelings about one of your dad's trains being refurbished, because a lot of them haven't been saved or been sold off. So what do you think about the Wisconsin Great Northern's restoration?
I am so excited to see it, and I'm so proud that it could be shown to people to let them know what my dad did and what we have learned to love about all the wonderful things that he's added on to these trains.
Well, I'm glad it's all worked out. We hope you'll come up and visit and
I certainly
take a picture
hope so.
next to your mom's car.
Yes.
So, thanks so much for joining us, and we hope to see you up at the railroad soon.
Okay.
All right, well, we hope you learned a little bit more about Albert Dean, one of the primary designers of the Mark Twain Zephyr for the Budd Company in Philadelphia. And thanks so much to his daughter, Charlotte Dean Mitchell, for sharing some of her memories. Next week, Sunday, December the 26th, we will introduce you to the great-grandson of Ralph Budd, CB&Q president at the time that the Zephyr was around. We'll also be putting some of these extended versions of the interviews on a DVD that the Wisconsin Great Northern will be releasing next summer. We'll have more information on that coming up for you later. Hope everybody has a great Christmas coming up on Saturday, and we'll be back on Sunday, the 26th, with another update. Until then, have a great week, and Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thanks so much for joining us for another update on the Mark Twain Zephyr at the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad. Before you leave, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can do this by clicking on the red subscribe button. That way, you'll be among the first to know when we post our next update. And be sure to check out marktwainzephyr.com, where we post additional content during the week. You can also watch previous update videos you might have missed. We are also on Facebook and Twitter at Mark Twain Zephyr.
It was so far ahead of its time. It was going to be made out of stainless steel.
Did he design the whole train?
He designed the whole train.
Times the Mark Twain Zephyr were so crowded, she would have to stand between Quincy and him.
The stainless steel cars, and I, at that age and young, and how bright it was, and